So this is the longer testimony that we're going to see from the FEMA director who claimed that they were teleported to Waffle House. This is the longer, like 5 to 10 minute testimony. There's like a 2-minute clip going around. Let's watch what he has to say. This is 2020, by the way, when he was investigating voter fraud allegedly in the 2020 election is when this all happened.
But it was kind of weird though, Catherine. I mean, it was kind of surreal. I mean, we had a lot of things going on. We had a teleport incident, 2 of them, which transported me about 40 miles from where I was and near Albany, Georgia, to the ditch of a church in another part of Georgia. And
well, yeah, you can't. We have to explain that because you can't. My headphones are now going out, so you guys let me know in the chat if you can still hear me.
Oh, she is leaving me with y'all.
No, I'm not. No. Oh no, I'm not. I will go without headphones and just talk straight through a megaphone if necessary.
Oh, she is leaving me with y'all. I want to play that back. That was funny.
I can still hear me.
Oh, she is leaving me with y'all.
No, I'm not. No. Oh no, I'm not. I will go without headphones and just talk straight through a megaphone if necessary.
I do not promise to not curse.
We're not gonna
take all your kids, hide all your children.
The teleport thing, you can't just kind of drop into that. Let me give some backstory. During 2021, of course, remember, this is the election of 2020 and all of the insanity that happened with that.
People are saying he's drunk as fuck and on drugs right now in the interview even.
You look at the timeline of Gregg's treatment and what was going on, and then what was going on with election integrity and True the Vote and our work, True the Vote's work with Gregg and OPSEC and his group. And that was when the mule stuff was happening and Connick was happening and Fair Fight was happening. I mean, it was wild. And Gregg was undergoing these treatments. And it was very, oh, you know what? It was in 2021 because that's when you were out in the middle of wherever it was in Georgia getting the radiation treatments.
No, that was 2020.
That was in 2020?
Yeah.
Okay. In any event, we have to really write all that down, but it was crazy.
I've had all kinds of crazy stuff along the way, though. I mean,
100%. Well, and so much of it was a spiritual. I don't want to jump past this teleport thing now that you've mentioned it, which is kind of shocking, but here we are. There were so many spiritual, inexplicable things that happened, and the teleport thing.
I'm telling you, bro. I don't know. I'm not discounting it right off the bat like a lot of people are. You got people high up. There's a weirdo cabal that runs everything, and if you're one of the big voices on some psycho shit like the 2020 election fucking fraud, whichever way you go on it, if you're one of the big prominent people, you're gonna get fucking psyoped for sure. Talk to Jake Chansley, friend of the show, American Shaman. He's had a bunch of weird shit happen to him just because he became like a mimetic figure in that time frame. So, well.
You have not told that to many people, and it actually happened 3 times by my count. One not too long ago, maybe a year or so ago, but inexplicable. And I can tell you that on one of the occasions, I was on the phone when it happened with Gregg. But Gregg was in a different state, and actually all 3 times in a different state. But one of the times I was on the phone, I can tell you how weird that was. And then a third time, I was on the phone with him immediately after it happened, and that was bizarre. And the very first time, I can tell you, confirming all of this, although I wasn't in communication with Gregg, and hopefully, Gregg, you're going to describe it, but Gregg took pictures of the car, the rental car, and what happened. And so, while we're going into a deep dive on the protocol, guys, this has been our journey. It has been, it's a journey. And so, Gregg, why don't you describe the very first time you were teleported? This is so strange, friends, but it happened. So here we go. And we've since come up with some some thoughts with some friends who are, see this through a faith lens as a very positive thing, but it was super scary when it was happening. So anyway, Gregg, why don't you talk about what happened? Y'all will find this fascinating.
Yeah, it was super, it was scary in a way. I mean, you don't really know, okay, is this evil? Is this good? What is this? What do I do with this? How do I deal with it? And I was leaving the hospital in Albany, Georgia, and heading out to a farm where I was staying. And I was talking on the phone to Catherine, and literally just lifted the car lifted up and took me where I was going. And it wasn't fast either. I mean, it was fast too. It was like I was there, I was on the phone, oh my God, what's happening? And I was landed. Um, and landed about 40 miles away in a ditch outside of a Baptist church in a little tiny town just where you cross over the border. And
I mean, let's just be honest. Like, let's say that this isn't bullshit and he's telling the truth and this really happened. Is that not some UFO activity type of shit? I've heard of people having stories like that. Usually the car doesn't happen, but people will be like, see a UFO, then they're like miles away from where they initially were. I'm just saying, I'm not discounting it right away like a lot of people want to.
Georgia. And it was an incredibly frightening moment to experience yourself in your car flying through the air. I've had other experiences like that. I had another one with my boys. I've had similar experiences, but nothing quite like that one. And hopefully I'll never quite act that one again.
And again, I mean, make what you will of these people, but she said she was on the phone with them, so there was like a corroborating witness to it all happening. Like, not there, but
that was really, really a lot. I've had other situations before in my early life. I lost somebody that was close to me, and I was driving from Sandy. I had won a car in a poker game in Point Loma, California. Yes, I won a car in a poker game, and
I know the story. I'm just for those of you watching from home.
It was
we're watching
brilliant
together, guys.
I
like
was
the stream.
Brilliant poker player, as you might imagine.
As you might imagine.
and so I decided, you know what? I'm going home. I've got me a car. I've got wheels. I'm going home. I'm going to Tuscaloosa. Woohoo, roll Tide. Let's do this. I go home. I tell my parents all my joyful experience of winning a car. Hey, y'all help me pack all my stuff. Not my stuff's going to go in here. Okay, well, help me pack all my stuff. We packed it all up. Not much goes in an MG midget, I can tell you that. In fact, nothing at all goes in an MG midget. So it was really just me and a few of my clothes, and we went. God bless my poor mom. I think she just sort of expected this. Just like I could just see her sitting there, just sort of wistfully, just bye. And I don't think I'll ever see him again. Bye. And I'm off into the desert. And the first bit of the desert was desert. I mean, it was like the real life desert. And then as I approached the last part, or this big turn in the desert where it kind of turns into the highway and our main highway, and everything was right, the girl that I had dated came into the car with me. The girl that had died came into the car with me, and she said, you're not going to survive this, so I'm going to take you away. And she lifted me and the car up and out of the way from a truck. that had slid across the road and had come all the way across the road and was about to hit me. It was about to hit my car, and she picked up my car somehow and lifted it off the road and kept me from dying. And so it was
What do you guys think's going on here? Is he just drunk driving all the time, or is this happening? I don't know. I think a lot of weird, spooky shit happens in this world that, like, I don't know.
It was a weird set of circumstance. Anyway, all of that stuff is happening all in my life, and I've got all these crazy stories and all of this stuff. But it was an amazing time. It was a spiritual time. I mean, it was a time where God had found me and just blessed me and graced me in so many ways that I somehow survived it. And it was, Catherine, it was a time of miracles. It was a time of miracles that I walked away from all of those things, and I could almost tear up crying about some of them, just thinking about it. And it's just all the things that happened to me and didn't happen to me and should have happened to me. And I have a very close friend that many of you know, Bruce, and Bruce had a very similar conversation with a car incident where he nearly died in a car, and he didn't win it in a poker game, the loser, but he still escaped it all and escaped the death. And I just look back on all this time.
I'm gonna reach out to this dude. Maybe he'll do an interview. Fuck it.
I'm saying,
Let's try to interview him.
That God truly was good to me, and I mean, I'm blessed in a billion ways, but by those days, those days of life and love and friendship, and I look back at those days and I think, my God, I never would have known Catherine. I never would have known my boys. I never would have known any of you. I never would have known any of it. I would nothing. I would have been a nobody, a nothing. And God saved me from all of it. And it's just such a blessing to be here tonight with y'all and thinking about it and sort of reminiscing of those times. And man, what an adventure. But I tell you, teleporting is no fun. It's no fun because you don't really know what you're doing. You don't really understand it. It's scary, but yet but so real. And you know it's happening, but you can't do anything about it. And so you just go. You just go with the ride. And wow, what just an incredible adventure it all was. And again, I've been blessed over and over and over again in my life, but never ever like the teleportation, like the movement that I did. And I was with my boys one time, and I was telling I was going to go to Waffle House and get Waffle House, and I ended up at a Waffle House. This is in Georgia, and I ended up at a Waffle House like 50 miles away from where I was. They said, "Where are you?" I said, "A Waffle House." They said, "Waffle House where?" And I said, "Waffle House in Rome, Georgia." They said, "That's not possible. You just left here like a moment ago." But it was possible. It was real. And
He did sound like Bugs, though.
I think back at those times, and I not just relish them, but I love them. I of course love my boys, but I love the moments that God gave me to absorb all of those times and all of that. But it was quite extraordinary.
Well, God's had his hand on you from the jump, and never has he wavered in lifting you up. And
I think there's one more part here at the end.
What we both
Let's see.
Templario asked about.
Tell me about teleporting.
Yeah. God, if we could do nonstop podcasts on insane things that have happened, but frankly, everybody could. I mean, I saw somebody wrote this in
Oh,
And
I've
we've had-
teleported before.
well,
1,000
but I mean,
times.
well, I mean, we are surrounded
God bless America.
all day, every day by miracles, and if we just
Indeed.
stop long
Amen.
enough to appreciate them for what they were in the
Amen, sister.
crazy busyness of life. I mean, God is so good, and it is an amazing thing to behold when you do get to see that majesty in a way that is just, there's nothing else to explain. There's nothing else to explain what happened except by the hand of God. Okay,
Catherine,
let me ask a couple quick questions.
Catherine, you look very pretty tonight, Catherine.
Aw, thank you, Gregg. I appreciate that.
Oh God.
Let me answer a couple questions. This is how my mom used to always say. I know Catherine's sick when she's nice, so maybe that's how we know that you are not feeling well, because you're being super nice.
All right.
Okay, so Templario wrote, I saw fasting was part of the protocol, but what does that mean?
You look very pretty today.
Mean nothing or water or what? I actually don't know what the protocol, like the one we popped up earlier, says about it, but generally it means intermittent fasting, where generally, and this is a bit of a conundrum, because in order to support protein requirements, he needs to eat a lot, but then he also tries to not.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's that. I'm gonna try and interview him. Send me some positive loosh so that we can get Gregg Phillips on an interview. And I think we're gonna close. I don't think I'm gonna do the Luna stuff because there's a space going on right now. Go check it out on X. Look up Ursula and UFO Sarah. But let's close with just one more time. The Waffle House, fucking real shit. Thank you guys for a fun stream, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.
If this is your first shift at Waffle House, you have to fight.
Thank you guys. Be sure to like the stream, and catch you guys around. Bye.